Are watching us, ne? Some are interested. Good. Okay, not now. I'm an engineer.
Yeah.
So how much can I maybe roughly make as an engineer? Yeah, yeah. Because at the end, we all want money. Okay. Engineering student, you wanted to focus on the course and what? Did you have time to like date and find a girlfriend? Hello, guys. Welcome back to Gift Varsity TV. This is your host, Gift Pozekana. As you know that in this channel, we always want you to be motivated and do your best in your academics and become a professional. That's why today I have a professional, Hello, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Can you introduce yourself, sir?
Where do I start? But I can just be brief. I'm Moloko Leslie Mafefe. Studied at the University of Johannesburg. I'm currently a civil engineer.
Wow, a whole engineer. A whole engineer. You have been waiting for this moment, right? To see an engineer on this channel. Okay, sir. So tell us about your background, like where are you from, where you studied, and yeah, tell us.
Yeah, I'm from a small village in Limpopo called Matox. Yeah, some people call it the Butokwa, and I matriculated there, and I came to Johannesburg to further my studies. So I studied at University of Johannesburg, APK. I did B.Eng Civil.
Okay, so just tell us about your high school now. While you're a student, what kind of a learner were you are at high school? Yeah, and the subject that you took.
Yeah. From high school it was a bit different because I was transitioning from being a known soccer player that people used to know me to now starting to study and focus on this academics. So basically, I was known for football before, and then at some point, I think I was in grade 9, I started trying to change and focus on school. But I was still too much having a lot of playful times and stuff. So when I moved to grade 10, my high school, a lot of people were failing grade 10. so I was very scared, and I remember first time I passed it, but I failed, I think, one module, either physics or life science, one of the two. And then, but I passed still. First term, second term, I literally failed, and that was my first and the last fail in my whole primary and high school life. And actually, I still have that report of a failed grade 10. So I failed life science and physical science. And actually, that's when I realized that okay, it's possible for me to also fail as well. So I started focusing and putting more effort. When I see a good student in class, I was always motivated to see someone who can help me, because I knew myself that I was not a dumb cop. If I can associate myself with good people who are focused, I will also be focused like they are. So I started making friends. I don't know if I can mention names, but there was a guy called Marema. Marema was joined us in grade 10, but his grade 8 and 9 he did it at Northern Academy. It's a good school. So this guy understood maths, English. So I started associating myself with him mainly because I loved maths and he was good with maths. So he started teaching me what he knows, and he never really cared much for me to share my knowledge. He didn't think I was that good at that time. So I kept on absorbing whatever he could teach me until a point where I eventually passed grade 10. I didn't pass very well because I remember I think I had 30 something for physics, I had 30 something for maths. So it was not motivating. When I was in grade 11, that now I was focused. So I would wake up very early in the morning at around 5 and go to school. I would be the first grade 11 learner most of the time. I would try to study things that I was struggling with. Maths was never a problem. So the problem was physical science, specifically chemistry part. So I would study chemistry, but still then, when you're trying to achieve something and you put in more effort, it's not something that can happen instantly. You don't see the progress instantaneously. And I still struggled. I still was passing with 40s now, but at least I had improved from the 30s. for physics. The rest of the modules or subjects I was passing them. The problem was physics. I was still get like 45 out of 150. Then it was bad. When I checked the prospectus, now I was thinking about university. Hey, with the 30% of physical science, I didn't see myself going anywhere. So I started putting more effort. I remember when I was in grade 11, the first term, and I got my report, I think I had 41% for physical science. Maths I had probably 70 or something like that. Life science I was on 80s. I was doing well now. I was focused. And I didn't even think of myself as one of the best learners in class, or top 10 or top 20. I was not even in the top 50 by then. So I remember I took my grade 11 report and I wrote notes for myself, for my mom actually. I wrote the notes and I said, I passed that term. I sent that report to my mom with a note written in pencil to say, you know, mom, if you can make sure that I get to Mbilu Winter School in June, then one day you'll be proud of yourself. That was me at that time. I was, how many years? 17 years. I said, if you can just, I don't know, I know you don't have money, but just make a plan for me to go to winter school in Mbilu. I heard that is a good school and they have good teachers. My mom took chance of me. We survived by just only, child support grants, and she made plans. I don't know how she did it, but she sent me to winter school.
At Mbilu.
At Mbilu Winter School. Yeah. So that school is a very good school. They are very good. So I got there. There was a guy called Sikita NR is one of the teachers. That guy was very good. So I remember I went to his office. I asked him, why is it that Mbilu students are always passing? What is the secret about this school in general? He told me that all learners are the same. Sometimes if you have good teachers, that the learners they tend to do good because they are motivated by the teacher himself. Those people, they will come to class without chalks, nothing. Let me not go too much into details of Mbilu and stuff, and then leave their stuff private and focus on myself. So this one time I remember in Mbilu, when you attend classes, you exchange classes the same way university is structured. After whatever molecular biotwat, you attend physics. After physics, you run to another hall to attend whatever. So I was in grade 11, so I just attended life science, and it was raining that day. So I'm running to maths class because I know in that I think it was E class or E hall there in Mbilu. Then I'm holding my book like this after attending life science. Now I'm holding it for maths. So I was using the same choir to write all the notes for winter school. So as I was running towards the E whatever in Mbilu, then I fell. So that book with the maths notes, the previous day's notes, it fell in the mud. And those notes were very important because that guy will always tell you, this is very important. I remember I tried, someone said him, no, go wipe your hands. Like, I'm not wiping any hands. I'm going to class. I paid for this thing. It was my first time paying that much money to go to school. So I went to the class. I was in front, and that guy even saw me. And he asked me, what happened to you? I said to him, I fell. I fell, and then I couldn't go and wash my hand because I knew if I would go there, when I come back, the class would be full. And I want to be in front so that I can grasp almost everything, because I mean, my mom paid, and with the last cent, I want to make sure that I come back with all the,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went to grade 12 now.
I was in grade 11.
Oh, grade 11. Yeah. So now you went to grade 12.
Yeah.
Now the university, the time of applying to university came. So which university did you apply to?
Okay, I came back.
Okay. Which other option, that you wanted to study? Yeah.
I came back from winter school. I told you initially that I was not even in the top 50.
Yeah.
After I came back from Mbilu, I was number 1. I went to matric. In matric, I was still number 1. I was getting good marks. So initially, I would check the prospectus. I was not just too ambitious to say I want to do medicine, I want to do what. I would look at the prospectus and check what I qualify with the current marks that I have. When I was in grade 11, I could see, with the biotechnology, I can survive. With the what programming and what, I could survive because they wanted level 3s. And when I went to grade 12, everything switched up because I started getting 90s and 80s. Then I went back to the prospector to see now where do I fit. First thing, I looked at medicine. I wanted to do medicine. I wanted to do engineering. I didn't know much about engineering. I just knew that okay, they want high marks for math and science. It means there's not much competition there. So if I go there, I'll find challenges. When I want challenges, medicine as well. Then I applied for medicine and engineering. So I just needed. I was not specific to say I want civil or mechanical or electrical. I was just saying any engineering is okay. Because someone told me if you're good in math and science, engineering is the way to go.
Okay, so you applied for medicine and engineering.
So I applied at VETS for medicine. I applied Medunta. Actually, I didn't apply. Man. I wrote letters. I wrote letters to all these universities for them. It was that time of manual application because I'm a bit old. so VETS replied with the application form. UP replied with all these universities, including UCT. They replied with application form. At the time, I think UJ was the highest application with the application fee at the time. It was 400. And then all the other universities, VETS, I think it was 350 at the time. Yeah. So I looked at the situation. I'm like, my mom doesn't have money for all these application fees. I have to choose one that I'm 100% sure, certain that
there was no online application that time.
At that time there was.
Which year was that?
It was 2012.
Yeah.
There was no online application. So I looked at UG. I'm like, UG 160s for math and science. That one is obvious. I'm gonna get this thing. So I started focusing on UJ. UJ only, and then I applied UJ. They replied late and said my application was not accepted because there was some missing information.
Okay. All right, yeah.
So I'm realizing UJ 60s I can easily get over. Then they still rejected me and saying I applied late. So I was in Matric 2012. 2013 I was at home because now I applied only UJ. They didn't accept me. I remember I came to VETS 2013, the beginning of the year, and they said the only space that was left was education. I remember we were somewhere around, and I can't remember where that place is, but I remember that day I walked from VETS to UJ as well, trying to. When I get to UJ, it was 2013 in the beginning of the year, and 2012 in the beginning of the year. It was that time when it happened that someone got killed by stampede, whatever. So UJ was strict. They didn't allow anyone to come in like that. So I had no option. Then I went back home, started teaching people math and science, and I applied again. I applied Medunta again. Now I was serious applying. So I was working, tutoring people. My high school would come and ask me to teach math and science, and they pay me for winter schools. And I'll make some monies here and there. So I started applying. So I applied Medunta. I applied UJ with the previous admission, whatever, the receipt that I had. Within a week, UJ accepted me for civil engineering, and then Medunta, they didn't reply at the time. It's now SMU. So, but I think I was the first person that have applied that year because I was at UL and they opened applications today now, and I applied at that time because I was tired of staying at home, and then but they accepted me when I was at UJ about 2 weeks at UJ. I'm like, so
now you are a UJ student.
Now I'm a UJ student. Medunta comes to me. As much as I wanted to go, I was at UJ.
Medunta accepted you?
Yeah, they accepted me for medicine. Yeah. But I had a choice to choose whether to drop out from UJ and go to Medunta or stay in Medunta. But in my mind, I was a child at that time. I'm thinking, UJ is only 4 years. Medunta 6 years. And I called my mom. I told her. My mom was like, then I remained at UJ. So first week at UJ, I saw they were telling us about significant figures. They were making us just to be scared. When I meet everyone asking me what I studying, I'm telling them I'm doing engineering. They're like, you must just be prepared to be here for 8 years or 10 years. But I'm looking at the guys as well, the guys that I knew from my high school, the one that I trusted. They are also there and they've been there. When I ask them, they're telling me they are not finishing
engineering.
Hey, I started getting stressed now. Hey, these guys are not finishing and I trusted them. What's gonna happen with me now? But I know myself. I will push. I go to class. The first week I was just attending, but I didn't understand anything. And they were teaching things that it was just introduction. But I was lost because I was just too scared of this whole thing. Because if I know people that are good, but they are getting marinated. So I was too scared. But eventually I adapted, and then there was a point now I started struggling financially. The person who was helping financially was not there, or she has exhausted her funds. I started struggling. Academics, it's difficult. On the side, I'm struggling with accommodations and whatever stuff. So I started getting more stressed now. I was focused, man. I was pushing, but I was not passing that good. First semester of my engineering, I was doing 6 modules. I was doing applied maths, calculus, chemistry, what else? Introduction to engineering. I think there were 5 subjects. I did well for calculus, maths. I never struggled with maths until I finished my studies. I never failed. I never got anything less than 65% for maths. Sure. My whole university for calculus, I knew that if I fail calculus, then I have to leave, because that one it's my strength. You know? Yeah. This one time I failed for the first time. I saw the results for applied maths when I was going to write physics second test. I got like 8 out of 30, which is like 30%. I got stressed. I got to physics class and I passed first semester test for physics. Now I saw the results of applied maths when I got to physics class test 2. But I was depressed by the semester mark the marks that I got for applied maths. I got charged by physics as well. Got like it was not the lowest, by the way. I got 8 out of 30 from applied maths. That's how I got 8 out of 50. That was 16% for physics. And we have only 3 semester tests. Yeah. So first one I passed it. The second one I got charged properly. The third one now is I have to come back. So I came back. I think I got like 70 or 50. I don't remember very well. But I passed very well. Got to exam. The guy who was helping me was from home as well. I trusted him with physics. Wow. He called me and told me, man, after the results came out, told me, I got 50 on the dot for physics. And this is my master. He got 50 on the dot. I'm like, what the hell? You got what? 50 on the dot. I'm like, oh, if this guy, I never got any mark more than him. All the semester tests, even when I failed, he passed. He passed all the tests. I'm like, yeah, I'm finished. So when I checked the results, I passed. I think I got like 56 or something for physics, and I passed.
So how, like, okay, no, how did you make sure you move away from that 16%? Now you get good marks in engineering. I know sometimes you pass, sometimes you fail. Yes.
I think it's just mentality. If you start associating yourself with the wrong people. I think the other thing that made me fail at some point was because I was associating myself with the wrong people. You know, a lot of in engineering, you'll meet 100 friends. By the time you graduate, you'll be left with 3 friends. Not that others are still there, they are gone. And every time your friend leaves, you feel like you want to leave as well. So the minute I associated myself with the right people, I moved to Res. I met these other guys that are actually still my friend even today. They were electric. I remember at Res that I was staying in that year. All the civil students got F7 except myself. In that Res. All the mechanical engineering students got F7. Some of them
F7?
Exclusion.
Oh, exclusion.
They were excluded.
Oh.
And then there were 3 electrical guys left. Yeah, 3 guys. 4. No, they were 3. And then it was the 4th one was me and civil. So since I met those 3 guys, they were focused. Those guys were passing. When I checked the academic record first semester, they had distinctions. I'm there with 60s and 50s, and I'm realizing, no man, actually this thing is possible. For me, at some point when I qualify with 90, I'll just sit down knowing that okay, I need 42 pass. I won't even study much for the exam in the first semester. So I had negative connotation towards school, and once I met these guys, I started seeing school life differently, started focusing as well. But the blunder that I made was to focus on more of the subject that I did and I shared with the electrical guys than the civil stuff. When civil started suffering, civil stuff started suffering. And in engineering, you cannot say you are progressing if you have one module that is not progressing. So I started not feeling good that I'm doing civil, because I enjoyed studying with these guys. They understood the content. So I met this other Zimbabwean guy called Lance Tinotenda Chikora. Yeah, that guy graduated with an average that is above 80 for civil engineering. And he was not really focused in school, but he was a genius, that guy. Yeah, he loved basketball. So with me, I was an organized person. So I was very organized, but I was not that smart, like extraordinary smart, that I can just, not attend classes and still pass with good marks. For me, I have to attend classes, understand what they're teaching, to get backed up by what I studied as well, then I'll be able to do well. But this guy was not attending classes. He just studied on his own, come back, where are they? Where's the lecture? I tell them we did this and this and this and that. When he goes and studied by himself, next thing we meet, he explained to me. Then I was studying with him, there was just the two of us, and I had a group of people that I was teaching. So after he teaches me, I go and teach other guys, and they will all pass. And that's how we did it, actually.
Great. Wow. So now, how long did it take you to complete that 4-year degree in engineering?
I would say it took me, let me say 6 years, but it's actually 5.5, because final year, my last year at university, I was doing only one module in first semester, and that was it. And it gave me actually chance to start my own tutoring company at that particular year, and I did well financially in that year. Yeah.
So what is a tutoring company?
Mafefe Academy Tutors. It's not too big. It had a potential to grow, but COVID came and just destroyed everything. And I got a job as well, and then I started not focusing too much on it. But once in a while, I still do tutor people, maths, science, and other engineering related subjects.
Okay. All right. So what is that one thing that you learned throughout your engineering journey that you wish any engineering student know?
You need to be passionate about what you're doing. If you're not passionate about engineering or any other field of study, your chance of success are limited. And you shouldn't be scared of failing. If the minute you remove that fear of failure to your mind, then you start doing well. So if you are failing, or fear of failure cannot make you achieve, or cannot, if fear of failure does not link or amount to success, you really need to start knowing that, okay, it's possible that I can fail, but I must work towards passing, and not only just passing, but passing with good marks. If you aim for 100, if you fall, you'll fall back to 60s, 70s, then you'll pass the module. And the passion is one of the most important ones. If you're not passionate about something, then you can't do it.
Okay. And you must be passionate about it. All right. Okay. Yeah. So they should be passionate indeed. Now, so as an engineering student, you wanted to focus on the course, and what? Did you have time to date, find a girlfriend,
Hey, where do I start? But a lot of people who would know me, obviously, if I lie, they will know, right? This one is lying. So when I was a student, I was not a typical engineering student. Maybe that's the reason why I didn't finish in record time. I was trying to do everything that a student wanted to do. So I was dating. I was broken. My heart was broken. I broken some until I met the girlfriend that I have now, and then she was very focused. When I met her, it was funny because I think we met with VET and UJ and DFC. I think we were doing career expo in some church, I think, and I met this one. And when I met her, I thought maybe she was studying at DFC or something, because I didn't expect to see a lot of ladies in engineering. Then I met my current girlfriend, at that time. When I saw her, she was quite reserved, and I was telling them about how I got out by first year and eventually I survived, because when I met her, it was 2016. I was doing well in that semester. I was actually averaging a distinction on my modules that I was doing in that year. So I was doing well. So I was trying to tell them about how I struggled in first year and second year, but eventually I'm here and I'm doing well now. So I was trying to motivate her. She was very focused on to hear more from what I'm saying. And I remember I didn't take her numbers. We just okay. And then I met her on campus this one time. I'm like, hey, this girl, I thought she was in DFC. Why are you here? I'm like, no, I'm doing electrical. What? I'm like, hey, this thing is going to finish her. So I didn't know her. And a lot of ladies that I knew were getting marinated in engineering. So when I saw her, she was so innocent, and she didn't deserve the trauma that engineering comes with. So I started putting her close to me. The idea was to say, if she struggles, I'm gonna help her. I don't want her to struggle. I didn't know her, but I want to make sure that she passes. I'll provide her with past papers, and with me, my advantage is that I have a good long-term memory. When I do something, if I'm good with something, I'll always be good with it. So only to find that she was actually not struggling, but I didn't know for like 2 years until we started dating.
So you dated after 2 years you met her?
So we met in 2016, 2017 we were still friends. 2018 towards the end of the year, that's when we started dating. And for some reason she was in my room, and then she opened her academic record. I don't know what was she wanted to do. And when I checked, she had distinction like everywhere from first year. She was getting all those things that used to moor me. She was passing them with distinctions, and she was just chilled about it. She was not even making noise, and she was just calm about it. And by the time we were dating, and I get to know that she was actually getting money for passing very well, average of 75 or something like that. She was doing well. She's one of those people that I mentioned earlier that they are genius. They can just sit. We'll be talking. She's sitting on the bed and she read. So you don't never compare yourself with such people, because everyone has to know themselves, who they are. For us, some of us, we literally have to take ourselves, pack our bags, go to library or engineering building or something. With her, wherever she is, she can open the books and start studying, and then she will still understand. So that's the difference that I have.
Yeah. So sometimes dating won't disturb you. You might find your soulmate here at university. They're both engineers now. All right. So you're doing civil engineering.
Yeah.
So, what is the description of civil engineers? What do they do? Where can they work?
Civil engineering is a very broad profession, but mainly there are people who are this is geotech, transport engineering, hydraulic engineering, structural engineering, which is my favorite, and project management as well. So civil engineers work in construction. There's no building construction of infrastructure without civil engineers. They are the ones who has to start from the initiation stage of the project until the closing stage of the project. All the quality checks, the planning and whatever, it's civil engineers on site mostly. And hydraulic engineering, it's about designing of pipelines. You have to design the pipes to be able to supply water and sanitation. The sewer, we know that we have water that we receive. There's also water that is going to go out as waste. They must be designed to accommodate that. We don't want to situations where you see some water with a different smell coming out of these manholes, and they are the ones responsible to design such stormwater design and sewer line designs. Those are hydraulic engineers. We also have geotechnical engineers that specialize in designing of dams, designing of retaining walls, making sure that the foundations are intact, and the pile foundation, you have seen pile foundations before. So those are they are god of soil. They do mechanics of soil. Basically, they understand the fundamentals of soil and how soil behave and how it can retain this massive structure that you see around us. Okay. Those are geotechnical engineers. And then we also have transport engineers, the ones that are designing roads from the structural engineering, structural perspective. You have your sub base, your base, and whatever. and you are surfacing. And your geometric design is this road marks that you see, the speed 60 kilometers zone, 120 kilometers. Those are the foundation of those is civil engineers that are traffic engineers. They study the traffic density, the traffic volume, and then design the road accordingly so that the road can serve its life satisfactorily for its design life. Normally the roads are designed for 25 years.
Okay.
The maintenance of those roads as well is the transport engineers.
Okay.
And then you also have, what did I miss? Structural engineers. Those ones are the gods. They are the gods.
Okay, maybe they are watching us. Some are interested. Okay, now I'm an engineer.
Yeah.
So how much can I maybe roughly make as an engineer student, as an engineer? Because at the end, we all want money. Okay?
So obviously when I started working as a VECWORK student, I was getting about 10k. VECWORK, I was a student and I was working. I was getting about 10k. When I started as a trainee, I was getting a good money, not bad. For trainee, I was getting about 18k. And then I won't disclose the one now. So now I'm no longer a trainee, but it's a good money. I get a car allowance, I get a phone allowance, I get my salary, and they pay for my medical aid. The package is good.
Yes.
Yeah, the package is good, but obviously the salaries are always relative. On average, not myself. I don't want to. I know people who are getting close to 45 net take home. On monthly package, I know people are getting 70 and above. I know people like that. I'm not one of them. I might getting more, I might getting less. So I want to make it obvious. But yeah, but there are those that are. It also depends on companies as well. It's not a one-way street. It depends on which company you're working for. Those who are working in the mines are definitely getting good monies. Those who are working in other manufacturing companies like your ESCOM are doing fairly well. Not that well, but they can afford life. And there are those who are working for these companies that are taking chances and they are getting paid very less. But sometimes those companies that are paying you less is a building blocks. You're getting paid less, but most of those companies they can enrich students or graduate with experience, which will then later use it to get to good companies and you get good monies.
All right. Okay. Thank you. And in final words, last words that you want to say to every engineering student or any student, as we are closing.
I don't know of any engineer that is poor, and poor is a relative. So engineering is a rewarding profession. You just have to be passionate about it. Ignore the noise as a student. Don't listen to people who are going to tell you that this thing is going to. Don't listen to them too much. And when you see in class, don't think they are dumb cop. Associate yourself with them. Most of them are very good students. They just had their own faults here and there. There's no one who's a dumb cop in engineering. So just know that as a student and be open-minded to be teachable and teach others so that you can understand the concept better. And don't be scared of failure. If you fail, I always say to my people that or my students that engineering is about 40 I think it's about 49 modules in 4 years. So if you do 10 every year and you make sure that you finish them, it means we are expected to finish that in 4 years. But if we don't manage to finish in that 4 years, it can take you another 2-3 years or 4 years. Even if it takes you 10 years, eventually you will finish that qualification and you'll have it forever, and it's a very good profession to be in.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Mafefa. All right, it's a great story indeed, and hopefully most of the engineering students in South Africa currently, they are so motivated. Even those grade 12s who are intending to study engineering, they are sure now that they want to become engineers. Guys, I don't see the need of you not like this video right now. Please like this video. Thank you so much, so that more people can be able to see this video and get motivated. Gift Bozekana here. I was with Mr. Mafefe, our engineer. You know, I don't just bring, I bring professional in this channel, Gift Varsity TV. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment down if you found this video beneficial for you. Thank you so much, Mr. Mafefe, for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.